Hey, this is Michael. Welcome to another edition of Let's Start Something. And what we're doing is me and a few other people, we're trying to start the conversation, um, any conversation actually, about helping our community and our society as a whole. There are a lot of people out there that are suffering from all kinds of mental disorders, drug abuse. Poverty has been really bad lately because of the pandemic. I just saw something on the news today while I was at the hospital saying that Arizona is about $70 million in the hole for electricity. Arizona being that's they owe that much amount of money right now. Anyways, uh, like my new cast. So anyways, check this out. I got my surgery done on the 1st, right? I went in there about 6 a.m. on the 1st, and I was scheduled actually to do it on the 15th, but they called me and said somebody canceled, so they had a spot for me to go in, and they took care of it. Pretty cool. I got a suture about that long on the outside of my right leg, which generally would have probably been on the front, real easier to do. But what happened was that if you look at my hands, right, that's what the tibia looked like. And normally it would be, straight, kind of like this, but it looked like two mushroom heads coming together and it wasn't fused. And it hasn't been that way the whole time. And I've had two nails in there. And what they call nails, I call rods because they go from your knee to your ankle about that long. And the first one got infected, so they took that one out, cleaned it out really good, put some antibiotic in there, and then fed me antibiotics for a month, and then said I was good when they replaced it. But months later, it started going bad, and I got a really bad infection that was just building up inside, and I couldn't see the inside, and I couldn't feel any pain because I was strung out on painkillers. Strung out on fentanyl, which is one of the reasons why I do what I do at the moment. Fortunately, I'm still alive. I can tell my story, and there's a lot of people that didn't have a second chance, and I've had plenty of chances. Praise God. God's been good to me. He's been merciful, and I think the reason is because He's been able to give me the knowledge and the wisdom that I have now today in order to share the information or the story that I have that will help other people either avoid the situation or know what to do when the situation arises. That's the whole point of me doing Let's Start Something. We're having a conversation. Right now, I'm comfortable with just telling anybody about anything about myself. I really don't care what anybody judges me about. I have a certain amount of friends that I've gained over just about a month, maybe a little over a month period of time, that I found on Facebook, or they found me actually. I don't generally friend anybody. I may have done it maybe 10 times the whole time if I find them interesting or helpful to my cause. And here's the really cool thing that happened this last week. A woman got a hold of me. She backdoored me on a message that I had. Said, "Hey, I'm having trouble friending you. Can you please, tell me what's going on so I can understand you better?" Because she's a former addict, or she is an addict. And so I said, I would really love to have you in my court. And that's the only phrase I could come up with. It's probably inappropriate, but she would say, "Yeah, I'm in. What do I got to do?" So I friended her, and we started talking about it. And she's seen some of the videos. She's really inspired by it, but she has a problem, right? She has a brand new baby, and she has some older kids. I think like 8, something like that, 7 and 8. And her boyfriend, I don't think he's the father of the other two. I'm not sure, but her boyfriend is strung out on methamphetamines and some other stuff, and pretty much, he's oblivious to what his life has become around him, like we all do. I've been there too as well. I've done that to both my ex-wives, and they did it to me too along the way. So it's just kind of like, it is what it is. When you're strung out and on anything, it doesn't matter if it's methamphetamines, cocaine, heroin, fentanyl. It doesn't matter. That stuff becomes your life, and then you're oblivious to what everybody else is going through, their pain, their problems, and she has done everything to this point in order to try to help him, but she's done. And what I wanted to tell her, and I didn't get the opportunity to, because, in my case, I didn't have somebody that was by my side when I needed them the most. Not legit, like, okay, we're going to make sure we're going to get you the help. We're going to get you whatever you need, and I got you no matter what. I really needed that throughout my life, but because I didn't have it, now I understand the need for it. And I think it's really important not to be like codependent, right? You don't need to go to Al-Anon classes and all that stuff to figure that out. What you need to be able to do is analyze the situation as the other half. So if you're the person who is trying to get better, and you guys are connected in some way or another, whether it be boyfriend, girlfriend, or brother, sister, mom, dad, and you're trying to help the individual, what you got to do is protect yourself, because whatever they do, you cannot take personally. You know, my mom, I put her through hell when I first became addicted to crack cocaine when I was a child. I was about, like 17, 18 when I first started that crap. And I was on that for about 2 years. And I ended up doing my first year in prison because of it. And they were really lenient on me because I gave them my story. And unfortunately, I had a cellie who was able to write pages of that down. I told him everything that's happened up to that point in my life, gave it to the lawyers, and guess what? I had the defense and the prosecution speaking on my behalf on court that day. They told the judge that we don't believe that this, we believe that he's had a love life, he's bipolar, he's all this other crap, and something I probably should have got like 5 or 10 years for. I ended up getting a year, and the state paid all my restitution. I didn't even have to pay a dime back, and I owed them like over 10 grand. So that was the first time. Okay, so going back to what I was saying about being the other half is that it's very important not to take what the person does who is high or under the influence personal. Of course, if you're close to them, you will take it personal. Be like, I don't understand. But if you care about this person, you're trying to save their life, you're trying to get them off the drugs, or if it's something else that's going on, whether it be any kind of addiction, the way to support that person is to be, become like leather. Your skin has to be leather. You have to be tough. And the reason you have to be tough is because it's going to take a minute, more than likely. They're not going to come around right away. There is the idea, well, either you get better or I'm leaving you kind of thing. And that may have worked in some people's life, maybe 5 or 10% of the public or the demographic that we're talking about may have gotten the help that they needed in that fashion, because like, I don't want to lose my wife, I don't want to lose my kids. They gave me an ultimatum. But it's not fair to treat people who are addicted because they're under an illness that you're not aware of. And I didn't used to think in those terms. I thought, well, I'm not an addict. I don't even think about it. I don't do it. I was clean for like 6 or 7 years. It never even crossed my mind. Then I get hurt. My back gets hurt. I get strung out on painkillers. And guess what? My brain goes, wait a minute. Don't you like to do methamphetamines? Wouldn't you like to, snort some cocaine and hang out with the chicks and stuff? And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Your brain starts thinking so crazy because you're an addict. Because the reason for that is because I believe, and whether you hear this or not, I know this to be true from personal experience, is that once you start doing that in your life and you've taken it to a whole nother level, from like, I'm just a weekender to I've been up freaking on the shit for months, that's the way your brain's going to be and treat you for the rest of your life. So you're never going to be that person that goes, I can only do these painkillers for a few days and then I'll be okay. Because once you do that, your brain starts saying, no, we need to go for the next level, at least for me. And there's many people like that. I know how it works. So on that level, I'm trying to get you to understand what they're going through. For me, my choice in doing drugs, normally if I went off the deep end real quick, it was because I had guilt or shame, or I was frustrated because I was either hurting somebody that I didn't want to hurt, or I did something I didn't mean to do, and I just felt really bad about it and didn't know how to deal with it. To be honest with you, when I was a kid, and one day I got caught stealing, right, at a Smitty's. Back then, if you can remember Smitty's, there was a Smitty's here on like 35th Avenue in Bethany, and now there's a Walmart and all this other stuff there. But that building used to be a Smitty's, then a Smith's and a Fry's and all that other stuff. But anyways, so I was stealing toys because I got tired of asking my mom to buy them every weekend when we went grocery shopping, and so I was stealing them, and I was getting away with it for a while, but they must have noticed something was going on because they had their eye on me that day, and I felt it. I was a kid, but I still felt that there was something wrong. So by the time I got back to my mom and she was in the aisle, right? She was in the produce aisle or something like that. A guy walks up with a badge and says, "Ma'am, I need you and your son to come with me." And so we went in the back, they took my photo. I had to give up everything I had. Actually was able to keep one thing, but I didn't give that up. Anyways, but I realized that I really hurt my mom that day. For the first time, I hurt my mom, and I didn't mean to do it. It wasn't like I was trying to hurt my mom. I was just doing something that a lot of young boys and girls do. They get sticky hands, right? And they say, you could say to me that you've never done that, and that's great. If you've never stolen anything in your life, not even a piece of gum or a newspaper, whatever, that's great. But I don't buy it. I don't believe you because it happens, right? And so, not making any excuses, I shouldn't have done it. I was wrong. But when we got home, I noticed from the time that he pulled us into the office all the way to the time we got home, she didn't say one word to me. She didn't scold me. She didn't say one thing. I could tell that she was really bent and didn't know what to do about the situation. So I actually, for the first time in my life, I actually tried to commit suicide. The only time in my life, actually. I pounded a bunch of Tylenol and some other shit. I'm lucky that I didn't have a rotten stomach after that. But I was really upset with myself because I hurt my mom's feelings. And I think that's one of the psyches that I ended up having as I was growing up, is that if I did something that I wasn't supposed to do, or I wasn't honest about something that I was doing, and somehow that affected somebody, like a girl I was dating one time, I know she was lying, but she said that I hurt her in some kind of way, and I didn't. I know for a fact that I didn't. But because the way she felt in the situation, I kind of took it personal, and I ended up going off the deep end after being like clean almost 6 years. I went straight to the freaking dope house, and I got high, and next thing you know, I'm back in prison. And guess what? Girlfriend disappears after 3 months of being in, just as usual. To find a ride or die, it's kind of hard. But the reality of it is that that's who I am. Now, other people, they continue to do what they do because they like it. Now, I'm not going to say I don't like getting high, because I do. I like the way it makes me feel. I like the way that it numbs me. I don't have to think about my problems and all the things that I've done in my past. But now I've owned my own shit, and I try to do it on a daily basis. I mean, up to the second, if I can. And that's important, because being honest and having some integrity makes you what? Honest. It makes you reliable, and that's what I want people to see, is that I can be reliable. And am I perfect? Not even close, but I do try, and that's why I do what I do. Okay. And it's important that people can get better, and they really need some coaching. They need some understanding. They need to believe, addicts need to believe that they're not sick. That they're not lesser human beings, right? Because society has been taught to have the perspective that drug addicts and homeless people and people who are in poverty are lesser human beings. That's not true. In fact, they're probably more human than you could ever imagine, because if you haven't been through the fire, you're never gonna know how to put it out. And there's people who have been, spoon-fed nothing but good shit their whole life, university, all that, and they struggle, but they're not honest with themselves, so they're trying to keep up with the status quo, and they have the best job, the best car, the best clothes. I used to be like that. I had champagne salary, what they refer to as champagne taste on Coke salary, and I was like that for almost 25 years, my whole young and adult life. I got to being about that point, and I stopped being like that. And I really admired my son, because he wasn't like that at all, which was shocking. He didn't care that he had to be the best dressed. He didn't care that he had to have the best things, and I admired that, because I wasn't like that when I was his age. I had to look the best, be the best, and do the best at everything, and it got me places. But the reality of it is that's not going to be what I would refer to is functional or reliable or rational, so to speak, because you just have to come to terms with reality. You can't be perfect. However, you should try to be as perfect as you can. As you get older and you get away from this kind of situation, a drug abuse or a bad family or a bad situation, think about how just getting up in the morning. What is the first thing you should do? Make your bed. And a lot of people don't do it. I don't, and I should start doing it. But I saw a film about some Navy SEALs and about how they were trained. And this Navy SEAL was a decorated Navy SEAL, and he was speaking at a conference. And one of the things he said, first off, is like one of the things he learned was making their bed, because when the stripes came in, sergeants and everybody came in and started yelling, "Get up, blah blah blah, make your, get out of bed, and get your boots." Their beds had to be made perfect, and if it was even slightly messed up, everybody had to pay for it. And that's the thing. It just, but after a while, he took some pride in that. What he said, and so, it's, if everybody just made their bed, they'd have a better day. Well, think about it. If you had a bad day, you come home to a warm, clean bed. If you had a bad day and it's not made up, it's like it's not as comfortable. So, anyways, it's just talking about some of that stuff. I'm learning this stuff as we go. It's also at Choice Recovery, and it's a place that I go. It's an out treatment recovery program, IOP or whatever they call it, and I do that for research. But the one thing that I'm learning is that you know, they're doing it at like a holistic point. You know, they're talking about nutrition. You know, your diet is really important. Your sleep is really important. Learning how to meditate. They teach you how to meditate. They talk about life situations from young to old. They talk about success. They talk about failures, and they talk about all that stuff and being natural about it. You know, maybe it was kind of the way I was raised. Maybe it's because, you know, when I was younger, I could feel that if I didn't do anything right, I wouldn't get the attention and the love that I deserved. And initially, after my parents got divorced, I ended up in a counseling program at Wendy Center. I can't remember his name, but he was a really good man. He was my therapist, and most of the time, all we did was just play games like checkers and chess and stuff, and we would just talk. And you know, he didn't have any kind of like diagnosis, I don't think. I was just a normal kid, reality. But I wasn't different than any other boy my age. You know, I had issues. I don't know. I was one of those people that was always dynamic. I had a lot of what you call charisma, like my oldest daughter does, and she took the attention of the room everywhere she went. And I was the same way when I was a kid. You know, I got the attention from everybody. It's just because the way I carried myself, the way I acted, who I was, and sometimes I was trying to be somebody I was not a lot because I was trying to keep up with the status quo. Everybody around me, I just wanted to be just like them. So, and that's how it went for a while until I saw my values and my principles being compromised by the people that were around me, and I got away from it because I don't like that. You know, being evil and vindictive, malicious, and backstabbing, and all the gossip, all that stuff. I've never been like that my whole life. So that stuff bothers me. Now, if you're like that, you know, more power to you. But the reality of it is, I need you to be safe, and I need you to be careful about what you do and where you do it and who you do it to, because we are a community of people who need to help each other. All I want is people to come together and just be honest. Because the more information I gather from other people, the more I'm going to be able to help those people as well. And so don't think for a minute I'm standing up here and going, hey man, I'm the next thing coming, because I'm not. I'm just another man who has gone through some serious trials in his life and succeeded and being alive and moving forward. Now, right now, to tell you the truth, what I'm doing, people call charity. This is more like my civic duty. I'm trying to give back to my community. I'm trying to take over my community, really. And I want to change the perspective and the mind of people who are in charge and the people who aren't, from the top to the bottom. Because the reason I believe is we have some of the problems we have is because shit rolls downhill from the top to the bottom. Everybody has the same problems in life. I don't care where you come from, if you're black, white, Mexican, yellow, it doesn't matter. You're going to have the same issues in life, whether it be women, schooling, education of any kind. You're talking about, you know, just getting your driver's license for one. We all have all this stuff is in common. Getting our driver's license, you know, getting our education, becoming a man or a woman, getting a job for the first time. All these are trials and tribulation for people that they grow up in the same fashion, but they don't handle everything in the same way. So that's why we need to be able to share information with each other, and we can talk about how we were successful and how we failed. Now, failure to me is just a word, because I'm still alive and breathing, so I haven't failed at anything. I may have not accomplished everything I wanted to, but I also know that some of the things I wanted to accomplish were not realistic, and I should just let those things go. And let certain people go in my life too, because we don't click. And I've always compromised my feelings and my way of living in order to help other people, and that is not fair. I need to be who I am and what I am wherever I go, no matter what. I need to be focused on that, and I can fall from that real easy because I'm lonely, right? I'm really alone for the first time in my life. I'm a single man, 45 years young. I have a 26-year-old daughter. And I have, I don't know, she's in her 30s by now, an adopted daughter, so to speak. I'm the only daddy she's ever known, and she's one of my favorite people in the world, and that's just the way it's been, and that's who I am, and that's what I have. But we're not close, right? I've been riding this train all by myself for the last 3 years. There ain't been nobody by my side, not a bit. I ended up being in tears. I'm like a sobbing baby, like, and can't even control my breathing when I talked to my mom after I came off the streets, in fear for myself dying, because I knew if they let me out and I hit the streets, I was gonna die, because I was so hooked on what they call fentanyl blues. And that's why I do what I do, is because I want you to get the information and understand what you're doing when you're out there, and why you should be protecting yourself and protecting your own family. That's very important too. Look, this drug is very cheap. You can get it if you want to spend $100 on it. You can get it for probably 50 cents a pill, and that pill is enough to kill one person. In fact, I took 3 hits off a pill once, and it killed me. And I've said this before, a man I knew all of about maybe 10 minutes saved my life, and I've never seen him again. He was like my guardian angel somehow. But it was just fortunate for me that he was there, because I was going to do all this shit by myself. I just needed him to help me. God, maybe? I don't know. But I'm still here, man, and I think it's really important that we help each other. Please listen to me what I'm saying. Let's start this conversation is about the community. It's about all of us coming together. And that's my drive and my focus, and will be for the rest of my life, whether it be on this platform or any other platform. I don't know. I hope and pray that someday I'll have the guts and the smarts and the wisdom and the support and all the other stuff to start my own company. And the reason, well, it'll be your company, but I'll be able to run it from top down. And the reason for that is because I'm focused. I have figured the key. I've got the freaking key, believe me. And if you want the key to open that door to life, you got to come to me, and you got to come to this program. And the reason for that is I want you to live. I want you to be happy. For the first time in your life, I guarantee you true joy. I don't care who you are, where you come from. If you listen to me and you listen to my perspective and start thinking about it, and even if you pick up books that I've never read before, you're going to find the same ideas, because I'm not a joke. I'm not a liar. I'm not somebody here just trying to play with your mind. I'm not doing this for just fun. I mean, I like it very much so, because this is the kind of thing I should have been doing my whole life. To be honest, I should have been a politician. But the problem with that is that I was a really good liar once, and now I don't like to lie. And that helps me smell bullshit a mile long. And the reason I think God gave that to me is so I can see both sides of the coin. I think it's important to be able to look at other people's perspective and try to gain their insight on what they do. And that's why I need you to help me, because I can only come from my perspective and what happened with me, and I'm going to keep it real with you and how I've been successful. But in order to help other people that don't have the same skills or understanding that I do, they're going to have to understand something more simple, maybe from you, maybe from somebody else, maybe from another planet. I don't know. I just really need, truly, friends that are willing to support this idea and share with me their information. Like I said, there was a woman that got a hold of me. I don't know if I finished that story. Anyways, the idea about him is that maybe we can save his life. And I wanted to give her information, which she's done. At least she says she's done for right now. She needs to separate herself from him, because he's driving her nuts. She's got the kids to be, and I agree. I think that, if you can do that in a loving way, you say, look, honey, I love you, but you don't get it. You don't get it, and I need you to get it together for your sake and mine and the kids. And I'll do whatever it takes to help you. But right now, you're not allowed to stay here, or I'm leaving. We need to find you a place to go and get help. And if you don't want to do that, then there's the door. That's fair enough, and I think that's reasonable. I was forced out due to my actions and the way that I was, and it wasn't handled appropriately. And both parties understand that. And I love my ex very much, but I realized something recently, that maybe I made a mistake, and she's not a mistake, but I was her mistake, and that got in the way of her moving on with her life. Because when I came in, she was okay, but things happened where she needed me more than ever, and I was there for her. I just felt that I needed to be, and I was right for that, and I'll never change my thought or feelings on that ever, because she's a very amazing person. She's super strong in my mind. She's done things that most people don't do when it comes to getting yourself and getting your shit together. I'm very proud of her for that, regardless of the problems that we've had. I think she's amazing. So just for your information, people can change. People will change. If you give them the abilities, the tools, and the know-how and the support, they will do it. Because nobody wants to be a loser. Nobody wants to be homeless. It's not a choice.
Last call for Michael. Last call for Michael.
Did you even understand what that guy says? He's so annoying. I can't stand that guy. But anyways, I gotta go, because I gotta go get my vitals, and I'll be honest and go do that with him now, because normally I blow him off. But trying to do the right thing anytime, wherever I can. So again, let's start the conversation is about the community. It's about your community, my community as a whole, Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, Glendale, Tempe, Mesa, New River, Union Hills, doesn't matter, Wickenburg, Yuma, everywhere, Bullhead, Havasu, all the way up to freaking Las Vegas where my Raiders play. I love them guys. We're gonna have a great year, by the way. I gotta go. It's coming up on 25 minutes. I did 10 minutes more than I wanted to, but I'm really excited about what's going on. Again, an update. I got my surgery. I should be back on my feet 6 to 8 weeks. I'll be able to be functionable and movable. I won't have to rely on a chair anymore. But it's not the last of the surgeries, unfortunately. But I'm getting there, and I need your help with this project because this is what I do for the rest of my life. I need to be able to earn an income with it. I need to be able to have a modest income, be able to take care of myself, my future wife, and maybe some more kids if I'm fortunate enough to have that, even at my age. My mom was 44 when she had me, so it's possible. And I'm only 45. Please, if you get this video and you actually have the patience to watch all 25 minutes of it, copy and paste it on your Facebook, share it because your friends aren't my friends and my friends aren't your friends, and the more people who see it, the more the word gets out. And it's very good information, and I'm getting a lot of good responses, and I'm helping people, and people are going to save, I'm going to save lives. That's what I'm doing, and I'm already getting the right place and the right people involved. Please do that for me. You can get a hold of me at my email, Michael Merryman, MERRYMAN 0@gmail.com. And it's Michael Merryman, MERRYMAN at 0, Michael Merryman 0@gmail.com. You can send me an email there. I don't do Google Chat. I got some other apps that we can do, because Facebook is a good way of getting the information out there, but it's more of a struggle. It's more of a burden than anything else. But it's very important that I get the information out in this matter because, I don't have a news outlet. I don't have the ability to reach the world by television, at least not at the moment. So this is going to have to work. Pass it on. Tell people what you think. If you don't like it, that's fine. But the idea is that we get together and love each other, man, for real. Not like, I got to get high in order to tolerate you. I got to put down the stuff so I can understand you. And that's very important that we understand each other. That's how we survive, and that's how we survived all these years, is that we learn to understand each other. We compromise, we help other countries, and other countries help us. And even if we can't even speak the language, we made it happen because we care, and God is with us. So if you love God, all things work for the good for those who love God. And even though it may seem like a terrible, tragic life that I've had, it's not. It's been the biggest blessing. I'm the happiest person on the planet, I guarantee it, because I can be real with people and myself for the first time in a long, long time, probably since I was 25, and that's almost 20 years ago. So again, please copy and paste it. I'm coming up on 28 minutes. I'm going to stop this video now. God bless you, and let's have a good September.